Hello, everyone, professor and classmate. Today with you, Fabian, and I'm going to talk about dealing with emotions and procrastination. So, the main topic of this talk is about how to deal with procrastination. So, the first thing that we are going to do is to define what is procrastination. Procrastination is the act of unnecessarily postponing decisions on or actions, and this happen to everyone commonly, more when we are overwhelmed by different types of activities and we have to deal with uncertainty, with complexity, with work, studies, and everything else. So that's why I wanted to talk today about this element. So, how can we overcome it? So there are some steps today. I'm going to present different strategies so we can use a proper use of the time. We can manage the time properly. So I'm going to present different authors that they relate to time management. And one of them, he talks about these recommendations. So break the task into manageable steps, commit to a teeny first step, give yourself permission to make mistakes, make it easier to decide, make it easier to do things, make tasks more enjoyable, make it harder to procrastinate, and delay before indulging your impulses. And how we can get to this point of overcoming procrastination. So here there are some strategies. There is an author called the Eisenhower, and it's a matrix. And we can take all the tasks that we have to perform in the day, at the week, and we classify them in two categories: urgent or not urgent, important and not important. If the task is important and urgent, do it right now. If it is important but it's not urgent, decide, schedule a time to do it later. Is if it is not important but is urgent, try to delegate who can do the activity for you. And if the activity is not important and either urgent, delay it. don't don't place effort and energy on those types of activities that doesn't generate any kind of value or benefits to you. So this is one of the strategies that you can implement when you are dealing with tasks and how to organize them in the order of priority. So you start working on the important and urgent activities, and then you move on to the other ones. However, there is another strategy. It is called the five boxes. It's from Gallagher. It's like a visual to-do list, and these five boxes are based on the affective for forecasting, um, and it's about visualizing and forcing realistic priorities and avoiding the decision fatigue. So we have five charts or five boxes. On the first one, the today most important achievement, the second most important achievement of the day, the third more important achievement, the today meetings that you could not avoid those activities in your calendar or in your schedule, and everything else that you may have to do. So this is another interesting strategy. I try to use these five boxes constantly because I start always working with the most important activity to achieve the day, and then I move on to the rest of activities. So I really recommend this one. Um, there is another strategy. It's called Pomodoro technique, and it is based on sprints. So the idea is that we do increments of effort, 25 minutes, for example. that is also called the sprint. So the idea is that you work for 25 minutes without distractions, not checking the email, not answering the phone, or don't switch into another task called multitasking. So the idea is that you place all your effort in 25 minutes to handle the activity or the task that you have. And after you accomplish the 25 minutes, you can take a 5 minutes rest sprint. So in that time, you can check your cell phone, you can do any other type of activities. And the idea is that you repeat this same procedure to 4 to 5 sprints. And then when you accomplish the sprint number 5, the idea is that you take a longer break. So it is recommended that after 5 efforts of 25 minutes, you at least take 30 minutes of your time to an enjoyable activity or to do something else that help you to get in your concentration again. What else we have over here? This is an interesting strategy, the 5 focusing steps. When you are so overwhelmed with activities and you don't know how things are working or not working, this is the 5 recommendations. So the first one is to identify the bottleneck. The bottleneck is the activity that you spend a lot of time, but you are not efficient on that activity, that you don't have any improvement in that activity. So the main purpose of this activity or of this process is to identify the bottleneck. What is refraining you from your desired efficiency? So after you identify the bottleneck, the idea is that you exploit the system. So try to accomplish all the activities that is related to the one that you don't have much advancement. So that's the idea of the second one. The third one is to subordinates all the decisions to that effect, to that bottleneck, to that constraint, and you place a special effort to try to overcome that struggle situation in the purpose of elevating the restriction, so you overcome the bottlenecks. Then you repeat the process because it is more likely that you deal with another bottleneck along the activities that you are performing. And as everything should be measured and should be assessed, there is the denim cycle. This is based on 4 principles: to plan, to do, to check, and to add. The idea of this activity, when you realize what are your bottlenecks, the idea is that you plan what overcoming opportunities you can generate to deal with that struggling situation. Then to implement the solution through the do, and to check if the solution is working on the weakness that you have realized or in the process that you are trying to enhance. And the idea after checking process is that you add and implement strategies of improvement and other strategies, so you can deal with those situations properly, and is a continuous improvement. So this is important that we consider that an assessment part when working on our activities. So let's practice a quick activity. This is a method called visualization. It's a mental rehearsal. Visualization is an ongoing process that can be productively directed. And the idea is to imagine a successful completion of the task that you want to finish. So what we are going to do, think about an activity that you have been procrastinating lately. After you think about this activity, wonder why are you procrastinating that activity? What are the reasons why you don't feel motivated to perform the activity? Why are you struggling with that specific situation? And try to visualize yourself accomplishing that procrastinated activity. So if you want, let's take 5 minutes or less. And the idea is that you think about a procrastinated activity that you lately realized and wonder why you are procrastinating that activity, and help us to visualize how would you accomplish that procrastinated activity. And I would appreciate if there are some volunteers that want to share with us eh, those procrastinated activities and how you visualize accomplishing them. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I hope this presentation provides you with insightful material and knowledge to improve your time management and dealing with procrastination. Thank you so much.